Welcome to the Boat Buyer Series. I am your host, Captain Matt. Today we're doing a pontoon review on the Qwest 822 Liana LE. So let's take a look at the actual boat that I inspected and some of the numbers. It's 22 feet, 4 inches overall, 96-inch beam, which is the 8-foot beam, so a little narrower than many of the pontoons that are on the market. That is part of Qwest's strategy, though, and how they build the boat. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Max horsepower is 115, dry weight 1,900 pounds, 21-gallon fuel capacity. I think it's going to be somewhere close to that. They didn't have that spec anywhere that I could find it, so that's going to be my best guess. 21, maybe up to 23. 24-inch diameter tubes, which you'll find that on some of the entry-level models. Some of them will be 23, some of them will be 25, so kind of right in the middle there. The gauge of the tube, so the thickness of the aluminum, I could not find that anywhere. Nobody knew that answer. And the quality level, I definitely put Qwest in the value category. And they've kind of carved out their niche where they're trying to build the lightest weight pontoons that still gives you the flexibility and what you want to do in the space, but keep that price point down. So a little bit about the company. In 2003, Apex Marine acquired Mellinger Boats. They were making really small, almost like pontoons, 8 foot by 4 foot. And they started offering 6-foot beams, 7-foot beams. And then they kind of continued to build up into the 8-foot beams that they're building now, the little longer boats. They still offer the Gillette what is it? The Giller series. I'm getting that wrong, but there's a Gill Getter. That's what it is. Gill Getter series. They also own Angler Qwest, which is their pontoon line for fishing, and they just bought Polarcraft in 2019, late in 2019. Polarcraft is a super high-quality aluminum boat manufacturer that's up in Minnesota, I believe is where they are. But Mark Dupuis is the president and owner, and he got started with Apex Marine building furniture for pontoons boat, American soft trim, Oswo. They were doing business as Oswo soft trim. So Apex Marine, Qwest, Angler Qwest, they are Angler Qwest. I left the E or the R off there. They build their own furniture. So they've got unique furniture. It's all built in-house, which allows them to be a little bit more customized in the way they're fitting their furniture into their boats. And they're built in St. Louis, Michigan. That's not a typo. St. Louis, Michigan is where these are built. Now, on the warranty, this was very small print, the very last page, the very bottom section of their 2021 brochure, but they do have a limited lifetime warranty on the hull, structure, frame, cross members, risers, just like every other manufacturer in the industry. Basically, the pontoon decking down. Then they have 5-year warranty on the upholstery, the vinyl, the fabrics that are used, and then any component that's not built by Apex Marine, gauges, stereos, that type of thing, are covered by their respective manufacturers. So those usually have a year warranty, maybe 2, and you got to go to the manufacturer. So if you go to the dealers then got to go to that manufacturer. It's tougher to do, and they're harder to get approved. And then they have, it's void if there's any damage from trailering, misuse, accident, improper storage, or commercial use. So that's their warranty. This is the spec sheet on the boat that I looked at, that was online, or I'm sorry, that was at the show. And you can see this is the actual boat right here that we looked at. So a couple of things that we'll point out here is you've got your navigation light is mounted on the front decking. You have your docking light down here on the rub rail. In my opinion, not great placement. One, that's a little bit of a toe stubber. 2 is if you come into the dock and you come in a little too fast, and you hit that front section of the dock, that light's going to get smashed up pretty quick. So not a huge fan of the placement on those. They do have a nice rub rail cap up here. Again, if you're going to hit in the bow, that's one of the spots that if you hit that can cause some damage, which is tough to deal with once you've damaged the decking on your pontoon and that rub rail. But they put this extra finishing piece that gives you a little bit more strength and stability there. They bring their fence rails up only partial way, and then they have this top rail, gives a little bit better airflow. But this upholstery is not protected. It can get poked or something. It's just a less expensive way to do it. And that's Qwest's plan is, hey, we want to build a quality pontoon, but we're not going to overdo it. We're not putting these, we're not saying these are, ocean going vessels like kind of Avalon Tahoe's marketing is you can take these anywhere. They say, hey, we're going to build a value boat. We're going to build it the highest quality we can, but we're going to cut costs to keep that price down for you in a number of areas. And we'll talk about that. So one of the areas that they do that is with their seating. So the seat base is not quite as wide. They're building all their furniture in-house, so that probably saves them some money. I don't know how efficient they are and the number of units that they produce, but it was good quality furniture. We'll take a look at the upholstery here in just a little bit. And we've also got over 50 of these pontoon reviews on the channel are coming out, so you can go check our YouTube channel. You can grab your Boat Buyer's Toolkit for free. Check out the articles on the website or check the podcast. The Helm, again, just a night. This is about as simple as a helm as you're going to get. You've got the old school kind of Edison looking wheel. I thought that was a cool look from, you'd see those around back in the day. But everything that you need, but nice and simple. You've got your switches, you've got your gauges. They've even got some electronics in there for the chart plotter, your stereo controls, a USB plug, as well as a cigarette lighter and a cup holder. So although it's basic, it's got everything that you're going to need. And it's built smaller, so it's not taking up a bunch of space. I guess that's probably what I mean by basic, is it's not that overbuilt helm station that's got storage down under here. They say, hey, we're going to use an 8-foot beam, but we're going to build things that are proportionately sized, so there's still plenty of cockpit space. There's still plenty of space to move around, and I think they did a good job hitting that. You can see they've got that little cutout for some more feet space, which I'm 6'2", wear size 12 shoe. It was a tight fit, but you can kick your legs off to the side at like a 15-degree angle. You can almost see right here is the edge, so this leg could easily just stick straight out and be fine. It's just something that I like to test that when I'm running the boat. I don't like to be cramped, and so I like to make sure that I'm going to fit comfortably at the helm. And you can see they do have a little bit of storage up under the seats. This one has, you can see that airflow pocket right there. That's one of the things that they focus on is getting airflow through their furniture. They've got some patented material that they're using in the construction piece, but a pretty good looking heavy duty hinge right there. Not the typical hinge you're going to see on most pontoons. It's not that they're probably getting their material from different sources, which is unusual in the pontoon industry. Most everybody gets their stuff from the same 2 or 3 suppliers, or 1 or 2 in a lot of cases. This is on their Liana. This is their bench. They say it's great for the sandbar and anchoring out, and I agree. When you're on the water and you're at anchor or you're at a sandbar, hanging out on the back of the boat with the kids swimming in the water is where you're going to be. So not only does it give you a comfortable place for people to hang out when you're on the water, and it's a pretty wide bench. You can see the L-shaped seating in the back. It goes out another foot or so, and gives you nice seating there, but it also gives you another big, huge storage compartment for your noodles, your water toys, all the stuff that you're going to be using inside or in the water. You've got a nice storage compartment here. If you look at the hinges that they're using, nice long piano hinges. It's not full length, but that's a pretty good support for that big, heavy that big heavy seat. And then they do have these stops. Those are going to break eventually, and that seat's going to flop around. But it's common to see that type of thing on this level of pontoon. They've got the extra bracing here, and again, because they're building their own furniture, this is a unique setup. They can come up with this themselves, design it exactly the size for that particular boat, and I think this is a really cool feature on this Liana version. Now, this is the gate stop on the gate. It's a plastic stop, so this is the interior of the boat here to the right, and this is the exterior. I thought it was kind of goofy to have the lock on the outside. Maybe that's so it's more difficult for kids to get to it and open that latch. But my concern was, that plastic piece didn't seem super heavy duty. It seemed like it was in an odd spot from my experience, and but I just wanted to point that out. That test that, see how it works for you, and make sure that it's going to fit for your style. We also, if you're serious about buying a boat in the next 12 to 24 months, if I can get that out, check out the U.S. Boat Expo. It's a great virtual event that may be right for you. Now, as we look again, you can see that fence rail. They've got the corrugated fencing, which, it hides the dents a little bit better if you were to nick or ding it than just a flat panel. A little bit stronger, and you're using the stainless steel hardware on the bimini top, which I like. That's a good fit. In a pretty good looking pontoon. They do put the lifting strakes on the outside of the tunes, if you can see down here on the bottom. That's going to make it a little bit tougher to turn at speeds, but it's going to give you a little bit higher top end speed. So it's kind of a give and take of what's most important to you. So if you're tubing, you're not going to be able to, or skiing, you're not going to be able to turn around and get back to your down skier as quickly. Again, it's not a huge thing, but it is something that not all manufacturers do, and you've got to take the added speed performance and getting up on top of the water better with the turning performance, which that's gonna slow you down a little bit. They did have a nice nose cone, a big, huge splash guard with the finishing piece around the outside. I'm big on that for kids, is that's going to allow them, it's not going to nick as easy, and they're not going to cut their finger when they grab onto that. And I assure you, if your kids are swimming in the water by the pontoon, at some point they're going to grab that, and it could cause a cut, but with that finishing piece there, it's not. You can see they've got a nice angle of attack for their nose cone. It's not the dolphin. They've actually got two separate pieces. So the front keel guard, and then the keel guard down the full length of the tube, and then another little splash guard there that kind of works as a strake to keep that pontoon nose up out of the water. So a good job on the nose cone. Here's another look at that. You can see they do set their nose cone back just they do set their nose cone back just a little bit on that center tune. It's something that some manufacturers will do it that way. They say that's going to give you better turning characteristics, because this section, if you're turning right, this is going to dig in, and that's going to allow that to come around sooner. I haven't driven enough of them back to back to know, okay, having it even versus having the front or the middle one out just a little bit versus back just a little bit. I can't notice the difference when I've driven them just over the years, not having gone from one to the other. Just a different way to do it. The corner cap, so we saw the cleat and the corner cap in the front of the boat in the bow. This is on the rear, and I like how they've done it where they're going through the rub rail, they've got their corner cap, and then they're going through the plywood decking. So it gives you, one, you've got it protected a little bit better with this corner cap, but two, this cleat now is going through 1, 2, 3 pieces of material that's going to make it extra strong. So it's going to be a nice sturdy point of contact and you're not going to have problems with that cleat pulling out over time like you will on some of the cheaper built boats. Looking at their ski tow bar, they got a nice ski tow bar. Again, to save room, they fabricated it so it comes off the back of the decking and just goes over that motor well and gives you a nice point of contact for the ski tow bar. It's powered with the Suzuki. Here's the fuel cell. Like I said, I couldn't tell how big that was going to be, but you've got your fill right there, and you can see you've got a pretty decent engine pod right there, which we'll take a look at in just a little bit. Here's another angle of that, and this is the actual construction of the pod. So a nice solid weld all the way down here. You can see that you've got a pretty thick construction. This one's actually a tri-toon, so it's going to be a little bit more rigid. You're going to have a little bit more horsepower on there, and a pretty good job construction on that value side. And again, you can see how that ski tow bar is mounted right there with their nut. And, that's something that's a pretty thick gauge aluminum right there. I probably still wouldn't pull any tubes off it. I'm sure that is part of the warranty that they say don't pull tubes with that. So let's take a look at the numbers. So this boat, a Qwest 822 Liana LE, it is the tri-toon, the TX3, and the max horsepower, actually I got that wrong. The max horsepower is 200 horse because of that third pontoon. When I did the stats, I thought it was just the double tune. So $39,995. They had a $3,000 discount at the show. They had a $1,000 in-stock discount at the show with the 140 Suzuki. This was the boat show price, no trailer, but the boat you saw with the 140 Suzuki on the tri-toon, $35,995, which is about as low of a price as you're going to find on a 22-foot tri-toon with the 140. And again, you're a little bit narrower on the beam, a little bit narrower on the seats, a little bit less material. Not all the bells and whistles, but overall, I thought a pretty good pontoon for the price. Again, if you're looking at buying a boat, check out that Boat Buyer's Secret Weapon. There's checklists, there's questions to ask that'll keep you on track, allow you to inspect the boat and go through it and find those little things that you may not have considered. Subscribe to the channel. We've got a bunch of boat reviews coming out still for different manufacturers. YouTube suggested a few. If you found this video valuable, smash that like button, leave a comment. If you own a Qwest, let us know your thoughts. And remember, life truly is better on a boat.